1, 4, 2, 4, 3.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and I have a very special guest with us today. I have my good friend Mike. He has been law enforcement for,
Wow.
long time.
A couple decades.
Before that, he was also in the Marine Corps, and he did some reviews on these two carriers. This is our brand new HRT Carrier, and this is a Condor carrier that I've been using for the past about 8 months now. But now that we have this one and get to play around with this, we are doing a review on this thing as I promised. So, Mike, what you ran with both of these carriers today. What did you think of the carriers? Like, what do you like? What you don't like?
So I spent most of my time actually in the HRT Carrier, and a couple things I really like about it. One, the modular compatibility that this has, or what it offers from a modular perspective. Mission specific, I think, is really valuable. So being able to attach, detach different configurations for your front loadout, same thing for your rear loadout, different configurations for your cummerbund setup, I think are all pretty good. I like the fact the current plates that are in here actually sit pretty snug. There's not a lot of movement or kind of slopping around inside. Quick detaches are nice for getting in and out of the kit. I found it to be very well balanced, both front and rear, and quite comfortable actually. Initially, when I'd taken a look at it, I was feeling the foam padding that's on the back panel and on your shoulder support, and it felt a little bit thin to me at first. So I would say probably a little bit skeptical at first.
Yeah.
But after wearing it, it actually was super comfortable. So no issues there.
Right. And kind of going off of what you just said, I was a little bit, I had some questions about how thin that was when I did the unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I put my questions about it in the video because I was more excited just to get it. But I was a little worried about how thin it was, but it's super comfortable, like you said. And I like the rigid cummerbund too. I like that system.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we found out too, and it was, I mean, obviously you and I are different frames, but I think the adaptability to operator size on this was pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of just making those quick adjustments to fit you, to fit me.
And it took what, about 5 minutes to?
No, it was a couple of straps and a couple of clips, and you're fitting out probably the vast majority of guys. If it's a team perspective, you're fitting out the vast majority of your team guys. So, yeah, I was impressed. I thought it was a good kit.
Cool. What did you think about that Condor and?
So limited run on this one. I think there's a little bit. You get a little bit more flexibility and comfort when you're running, obviously, the elastic style cummerbunds.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to boil down to a personal preference thing, and whether or not you're running side plates, and how you want to configure your kit based on mission. I found this to be quite comfortable, despite the fact that you threw steel plates in it on me, and the plates weighed about twice as much as what's in there. But I think the comfortability factor. Yeah, I mean it's relatively seamless. I don't have any complaints or negatives. It fit and wore comfortably. I will say that the getting in and out of this kit, so the longer quick clips that are on here, were easier to manipulate, both getting on and off, as opposed to the smaller ones. These, getting out of them, no problem. Getting into them just takes a little bit of dexterity. So, you know, gloved hands, that kind of thing. You know, you may have a little more time on your hands getting clipped into it, but
Right.
you know, but it's again personal preference and what kind of profile you want to run.
And I would imagine that after some thorough practice getting this carrier on and off, it would probably speed up just a little bit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it in a category of a negative. I just think that it's different. So it's, you know, it's just getting used to your system once you've got it on. What I will say is that, you know, both felt very secure. I wasn't worried about things coming detached or falling apart on me at all.
Right.
And just a quick eyeball on both kits. You know, the structure, the sewing job that they've done, the quality of materials that are in here, the attention to detail, I think on both are top notch. Yeah, no issues there.
Now, I'm going to ask you this from two different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So, from your law enforcement side, if you were a procurement officer, and you had to choose between these two carriers for your office, which one do you think that you would like better?
That's a tough one to answer. I think, well, number one, I wasn't the procurement guy, but I think. So one of the things that I really like about the HRT kit, that modular compatibility. So being able to outfit. So if I've got snipers running a kit, if I've got entry guys, if I've got breachers, being able to run a different panel, front, side, and rear, depending on what your loadout is and mission specific. I think this is probably the wiser choice. And you know, I'll be straight with you. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of the Condor system and the accoutrements that come with it, right? The additional cummerbund setup. So I can only speak to what I was running here. So I think from a modular perspective, I would probably lean towards the HRT kit. From a comfortability standpoint, with the elastic, it's just generally more comfortable than a rigid setup. I mean, it's
always going to be.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's just kind of how it is.
Right.
So
I think, at the end of the day, for me to look at this from a procurement perspective, I think, what I would need to do is throw it on different bodies and different configurations and different loadouts based on whether it's mission or position within an element or a team to see how that works out.
Right.
So that's kind of a hard question to answer, but
always is.
I think they're both a fair kit. This one, just based on the configuration of it, if you're looking for something that you can go probably a little more slick, a little more low profile, I think the Condor definitely pushes that avenue a little bit better than the HRT does. But we also ran this with, full panel front and rear.
Yeah.
So
and this
didn't test it out on a slick setup.
Right, and this is the heaviest of their carrier systems that they have. So it's meant to be a little bit heavier,
Right.
On all sides. They have thinner ones that would probably be better for slick and low pro.
Sure.
But from a operations standpoint, this is definitely the heavier carrier.
Yeah, it's a little bit bulkier, but I think again it's got a little bulk to it, but that's by virtue of the plates. So I think for adapting or molding around the plates, it's smooth. You don't get that sloppy feel that you do with some kits, and where the plate interior is moving around on it. we don't get that at all with the HRT.
Yeah.
So,
Now, from a personal perspective, from, you know, if you had to, you know, you have enough money to buy one or the other, right?
right.
Which do you think that you would prefer to go with?
I would probably lean towards HRT. Just again, I think it's from a modular perspective.
Right.
I like to have that flexibility to, you know, upsize, downsize, whatever it is the need is for the day or for the mission. I think that offers a little bit more ease of use. So prime example, and I know you showed it in your unboxing, that back panel, which is, you know, if you need to adjust or run a new style on the back, it's as simple as, you know, unzipping and zipping a new kit on there.
Yeah.
With a Condor system, you're running a pretty standard back piece on your kit, and anything you're going to do is going to be some type of MOLLE configuration. So, you know, for sake of ease and getting a kit put together and taken apart, I think that this is a much easier option.
Yeah.
You can hang several racks of what you need and take what you want for the day.
Yeah,
So-
and I mean, you know, they were asking when I was setting this order up, they asked me, you know, what I wanted on the front, and because they have more than just these two types of panels, you know,
Sure.
little mini pouches, mini panels, but you know, I told them that throw me your kind of exotic setup, because I know, like, personally, I've never run pistol mags up here before, and you were even saying this morning that you might switch these two around.
Pulling one of my mags out.
So maybe flip those.
Either flip it or I don't know if there's an increase in tension on those.
Not really, they're just elastic.
I mean, I would also run typically handgun magazines on a belt, but that's just personal preference. But yeah, I mean, you know, and again, a lot of this boils down to personal preference and how people run their kits. But a couple of things that I liked. One, the retention of your M4 magazines in here was quite good without being overkill. So I didn't really have any concern about movement and losing a magazine. Now, if you're, you know, a point of consideration or something to think about, if you're a team that's going to be doing some rappelling or Aussie rappelling or something like that, you may want to test that out a little bit on a, you know, upside down platform, make sure everything stays where it needs to. Yeah, and pistol magazines, I typically run them on my belt, so this pouch may not serve that function for me. I did find that these were, at least for the M&P magazines, were a little bit loose, so there's a lot of play right here. And in fact, I think, you know, just during weapon manipulation, we had one that kind of got pulled out on its own. So, but again, I think how you configure this, a lot of it boils down to personal preference and what your mission specific details are,
Right.
to make it right for you, make it right for your team. So I've always liked to run with a little less, just to stay slick and be able to move a little quicker. But yeah, I don't think I have any complaints. I liked it. It's a good setup.
Cool. Well, I won't keep you here too long because I know that your wife will probably kill you.
Got to be home on time.
She'll kill you, and then she'll come after me if I keep you too much later. But I appreciate you coming out here and helping us today.
Yep.
It was super fun to have you out here at the range and be able to shoot with you.
Well, it was a good time being out here, and I appreciate you guys opening the door and letting me come out and play.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime.
Awesome.
I love you out here.
Good stuff.
Alrighty.
Ready? Go.
Have a good one, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.